What is up, my fellow virgins? So, look. Pretty much, the card has changed. It's different now, you know. Makhachev versus Volkanovski 2. Personally, in my opinion, I feel like, you know, this card is better. It could have been, you know, done later on, but, you know, guy got something else planned out in mind, so let's just trust the process. Y'all already know what's going on. If you're UFC fans, you know what's going on, so I'm not going to sit here and waste y'all time and tell y'all this and that, you know? We're just going to watch. We're going to come here to watch the video and have a deeper dive, 2.0, you know?
Obviously, you've all heard the news. I got told about Charles having to pull out and needing a back.
My man Charles pulled out. He didn't pull out, but, you know.
Backup. I always say that I will do these things. I am that guy. I am that guy that will do anytime, anywhere, any weight, whatever it is.
So this was supposed to be another hype-building piece for UFC 294, Islam versus Charles 2. Another cold open, maybe. A 5-minute video where I pushed the main event as the greatest thing ever since the last main event. But MMA strikes again.
Is Charles Oliveira out of his fight with Islam, and is Alex Volkanovski in?
Yes.
We have a new headliner for UFC 294, and I guess I have to do it all over again.
Round 5 of sparring last night. Splits his eyebrow wide open. Obviously, can't fly out there with that, you know what I mean?
Maybe we should have seen this coming.
The Volkanovski crew, these guys are just absolute studs, man. He jumps in and he accepts the fight.
This rematch between two of the pound-for-pound best fighters on the planet was destined to happen.
Volkanovski taking this fight on short notice. Huge respect for that.
Lightweight world champion versus featherweight world champion. A classic fight in Perth behind him. And an absolutely massive rematch in Abu Dhabi awaits.
I'm very well. New opponent, same. Go.
This is quite possibly the greatest matchup in the UFC today.
How about this? Alexander Volkanovski, UFC featherweight champion, and he's trying to become the UFC lightweight champion in just a few days from now.
No, I'm not talking about pay-per-view buys, ticket sales, social media numbers, none of that. Skill for skill. This is the absolute pinnacle of our sport. So everyone,
facts.
Chill the fuck out. I got this.
Costa's hurt, you know, all the rumors that are flying around, we got it done. So, the number 4 welterweight in the world, Khamzat Chimaev, is moving up the middleweight, and he will face the number 1 welterweight in the world.
I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Listen. I'm sorry, usually I don't pause, but I gotta, you know, drop some knowledge for y'all motherfuckers. Kamaru Usman used to be that guy, right? Leon Edwards killed that guy, right? You know, headshot dead. So, everybody looks at Usman. Is he dried out? Is he prime? Or Leon is that good? Now, this fight we can actually see. This is the fight we wanted to see. But now, everybody's favoritism, Chimaev. Because, you know, what I just said, he got knocked the fuck out. But, if y'all want my predictions, I honestly believe that Khamzat Chimaev, my heart say Khamzat Chimaev. My brain say Kamaru Usman, because I feel like he's going to knock him out in the 3rd round. Not knock him out, but knock him down, because Kamaru is just, he's unpredictable, bro. His striking is corny, but it's unpredictable, like, you know? So, that's just from me.
Kamaru Usman.
But I want Chimaev to win.
Come on.
Welcome to the fighting business.
Because he deserved it more than anybody.
I'm not even mad. Honestly, no offense to the backup fighter in Gamrot, but this is the best matchup in the company. And I'll be damned if I don't do a deeper dive on this. If I wasn't too sure, the inclusion of Khamzat versus Usman just did it for me.
It's been crazy 24 hours, but, you know, we made it happen.
This event didn't regress. It got better. And so here we go. Once again, the 2 top fights with a lot on the line and a whole lot to cover.
I'm just saying. Might not happen, most likely won't, but that's who I'm picking.
Fighting Business is one of my favorite new channels going right now.
This is the real main event.
In hindsight, we should have seen this coming. When Costa versus Khamzat was announced, the MMA world was excited yet cautious.
Paulo Costa went public, said he had surgery 3 weeks ago. Is there any danger that that fight could be off?
Yeah, it's possible.
Last time Khamzat was scheduled for a welterweight bout, he missed weight by 7 pounds, and Costa has been a royal pain for the UFC ever since the Marvin Vettori fight. Our fears were justified, because Paulo Costa has pulled out of the grudge match. Turns out, it wasn't just a bad elbow. Costa developed a pretty bad staph infection and had to step back.
Here you go again. Unbelievable. 2 weeks ago I did the surgery, and today doctor says Paulo need to reopen this because the facts come back, so you need to reopen and clean everything.
We were mad at the guy, but that's serious enough for the doctors to intervene. And here's hoping Costa recovers soon. But Khamzat was without an opponent, but not for too long. Khamzat is a monster, and I'm sure a lot of fighters were not too keen on facing this guy on short notice, but the UFC delivered, and a former champion, a welterweight great who not too long ago was the pound-for-pound king, will be the replacement fighter.
Oh, that would be a great fight. But wow, that's a good fight, you know, because Kamaru's back training with us at Kill Cliff FC. He's there every day now. But that would be a great fight. Forget about Paulo Costa, right? Like Kamaru and Khamzat is bigger than Paulo Costa and Khamzat.
Facts, at least Gilbert, no?
The Nigerian nightmare is back, and if you thought Gilbert Burns was a step up in competition, Usman is a whole different beast.
This is the greatest sport ever conceived in the world, ever. Imagine Usman flatline KOs Chimaev.
Chimaev is coming off a win, but Usman is in unfamiliar territory. He is on a 2-fight skid. Imagine saying that a few years ago. Usman losing 2 fights in a row sounds a little too hard to believe, but the current champion Leon Edwards knocked him out in a rematch and won a competitive but clear decision in the trilogy. Usman accepted the loss and stepped away for a little while, waiting as the division sorted itself out. But even on the sidelines, he did have an opponent in mind.
A fight with myself and Khamzat, boom. And if he keeps winning, I think that...
I like that a lot, man. I like that a lot.
I like that too.
The former champion versus the most dangerous contender in the division. The matchup worked like magic.
That man looked like a fucking beast. What the fuck is that?
But Khamzat was all over the place, challenging welterweights, middleweights, even light heavyweights.
The fans, they want to see me in Israel. Yeah, I'm a bad matchup for him, you know. Like everyone knows he's gonna lose the title. That's why they saved that guy. They built up him. They don't want to lose him like that fast.
Eventually, Usman read enough and decided not to pursue the fight.
So you want to tell me, the former champion, at this weight, that's #1 ranked in the world at that weight, that I need to move up to middleweight to fight you? Who are you? Who are you?
Yet, here we are. Maybe this was destined too. On paper, these two are the strongest 170-pounders on the planet. Khamzat is known for smashing his opponents with brute strength and skill, but Usman is a monster in his own right. When the bell rings, take cover because these two are going to go right at each other in a test of strength, and they might just blow the roof off the arena.
You look at them on paper, they were both former welterweights. They're now both fighting at middleweight.
Personally, neither will have a definite advantage, and it will come down to cardio. Usman is one of the better conditioned athletes in the UFC, or at least he used to be. We know Khamzat is as dangerous as ever with his quick victory over Kevin Holland, but there are a lot of questions concerning Usman. Is he still the same guy? Can he fight effectively with his busted knees? Was he ever that good?
Leon comes and shot him.
Listen, I'm sorry, but look, everybody keep talking about Usman knees, bro. I'm gonna let y'all know this right now, bro. I don't know Usman, but I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. All his fights, he had bad knees. Is it gonna be a problem? Let me just let that cook in your brain.
His head and drop that guy. I don't think so. I never be the same guy again.
Khamzat Chimaev is the perfect candidate to answer all that and much more. A win for Usman, and the nightmare begins all over again. But a dominant victory for Khamzat, and the middleweight champion needs to start drilling wrestling. Did I mention that the winner will be the next guy in line for the middleweight champion, Sean Strickland?
Dana White is trying to fucking kill Sean Strickland, bro. He don't want him to be champion. I want him to be champion.
You're better than everybody, so just don't hurt people.
When Khamzat toured through the welterweight division, this was the fight we wanted. The invincible contender versus the invincible champion. A lot has changed now, but this matchup is still magic, now amplified.
Oh, shit.
Upon winning the vacant lightweight title at UFC 280, Islam Makhachev was declared the second coming of Khabib. We were constantly told that this guy was great, but against Du Bronx, he surpassed everything said about him. He was good, elite, otherworldly even, and the lightweight division was his to rule over.
Obviously, he's gonna get compared to Khabib because, you know, they're basically brothers and they grew up. He's like Khabib, but I think with better submissions.
But his next fight was against the king of featherweights. Volk was in the cage that night, and a super fight was announced for UFC 284.
Champion versus champion, super fight. You literally cannot make a better fight than that.
As expected, Islam opened up as a massive favorite, and he was expected to maul the smaller guy.
This guy is so small. I'm gonna stop this guy. Like what I did couple couple minutes ago, I can do the same things.
The featherweight champion was impressive, but he didn't have a chance in hell of competing with Islam.
I don't know how he's taking this fight, but if he thinks it's going to be easy, I guarantee you he'll be struggling.
On fight night, the featherweight champion rose to the occasion like very few expected. Islam was not able to overpower him, and towards the end of the fight, Volk was the guy on his feet, while Islam was looking to survive to the final bell. The decision...
Am I gonna die right now? Am I gonna lose my belt? Is Khabib gonna kill me right now? Bitch ass nigga, man. Fuck this nigga, man. Real shit. Somebody need to whoop this nigga ass. I'm getting sick of his ego, bro.
was awarded.
I smashed this guy. This guy is nothing. Sin locate. Come on, bro.
To Islam, but he didn't feel like an absolute winner. The aura of invincibility.
Look at his fucking face compared to my man's.
Had cracked, and the featherweight was responsible.
Short but strong.
Even before UFC 284, people did sort of talk about Volkanovski as a possible all-time great fighter, especially after the trilogy bout with Max Holloway. But now there was no denying it. Alexander the Great was coming for that top spot, and in his return to 145, he defeated Yair Rodriguez with minimum effort. The next challenger was...
If my man Volkanovski beats Islam Makhachev and has 2 titles and defend the featherweight title to that other boy and then fights I'm gonna be honest, bro. He is, if John Jones wasn't a thing, he would be the best in the world. I'm sorry. That's different. That's if. You never know.
Was waiting for the champion right outside the octagon, and while Volkanovski versus Topuria was a compelling matchup, a lightweight return was imminent.
Oh, man, look, we all know I want that lightweight belt. You know, we all know I want that rematch. You know, I want that Islam fight. I think not only for me to get that belt, for me to get that win back, but I think it is a massive fight for the UFC as well.
The two champions had unfinished business. Volkanovski had defended his title, and now it was up to Islam to remind the lightweights he was still the champion of 155. We were all set for Makhachev versus Oliveira too. The deeper dive was already out, and streaming sites were at the ready.
Facts.
Bronx suffered a bad cut in sparring and had to step away. Now, who on earth would take a short notice championship fight against Islam? No sane lightweight would accept a suicide mission like this, but one phone call later, we got ourselves a new main event. Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski 2.
The big rematch that we've wanted, not under ideal circumstances. That's probably one of the caveats. But nevertheless, it's a bloody damn good fight.
Before I go on about the technical aspect of this fight, can we take a minute to appreciate this madman?
It's like I don't have to prepare for the worst. I don't have time to prepare for the worst. That's why I think I'm going to be more dangerous than I've ever been. I've never really had this sort of mindset going into a fight. My pressure is so clear of what I need to do.
Volk is at a point where every fight is important, as he has the weight of greatness on his shoulders. One bad loss and it'll start all over again. No, he was never any good, but the featherweight champion doesn't give a fuck. Coming off a surgery and accepting a short notice fight against Islam in his own backyard. This isn't plain greatness. This is an immortal type shit because no one else would step up the way Volk just did.
A lot of people are going to be, there's no way, you know, short notice, he's crazy. A lot of people won't do these things, but yeah.
Now then, who wins this rematch? You know how it goes with short notice fights. You really don't know what's going to happen. Volk has maybe a week to prepare, but on the flip side, Islam was preparing for Charles, a vastly different fighter, and you know that he will be a little on the edge because the replacement fighter pushed him to the limit.
Because on one hand, you got Islam, who he's had the full camp, he's preparing for Charles, but then you got Volkanovski, he hasn't had the bumps and bruises of a full camp.
In the first fight, the keys to victory went a little something like this. Volkanovski, who had dominated Max Holloway, was supposed to be the far better striker. Islam, who had strangled Du Bronx, had a massive advantage on the ground. But during the fight, the grappler was willing to contend with Volk on the feet, and the smaller, shorter, and weaker featherweight held his own in the grappling.
2 minutes of the 4th round, might have been the 3rd, as I'm saying the story. Islam's on the back of Volkanovski. Now, Islam's got a pretty good position. That's it. And his face was getting peppered by Volk, who was doing this. He looked like a cartoon character, right?
Turns out, these two are evenly matched.
Yo, son, it is crazy, bro.
Matched in strength and skill, but Volk had the edge in cardio. Towards the end, Islam was exhausted, as this was the first time the champion had gone 25 minutes, while his opponent was still fresh, ready to go for another round. There was a little talk of a bad weight cut for Islam, so maybe he will be better conditioned this time around. At the same time, Volkanovski, who now knows that he can get back up from the ground, will pressure a lot more than he did the first time around.
And if Makhachev doesn't move away, then he's going to either run into a clinch, run into a takedown, or run into a counter punch. I think it was the second round of the last fight. He was doing a really good job of stepping through and slipping off to the side and throwing a right hook to the body.
Will the featherweight champion be 100%? Likely not. But the dude took this fight for a reason. And if anyone even has a chance to win a short notice fight against Islam,
it's
it might
Alexander Volkanovski, my brothers.
Just be Volkanovski. He has proved time and time again he is unlike anyone else on the roster. And if he pulls this off, we seriously need to start considering him as an all-time great.
What the fuck did I just say, bro?
This do for that, to him for that, if he's able to pull this one off?
He's already, in my eyes, one of the best of all time to do it. He's up there with the Frankie Edgars and the Demetrius Johnsons and the Jose Aldos for what they've contributed to the sport.
Short notice fight and setbacks aside, Islam has an opportunity to right all the wrongs. With the Charles rematch, he had some proving to do, but against Volk, he can rash that blemish for good with a finish or dominant decision. Abu Dhabi is his backyard, and he'll be cheered, amped up, and will even have more time to rehydrate.
I'm getting a feeling you're sort of leaning towards Islam winning here against Alex.
I just think he's going to pressure, and he's going to be steady with it, and he's going to wear Volkanovski down.
So many questions, so few answers, so much anticipation, and a long, long week to go. The winner of this will most certainly break in the next sphere of greatness, and we just have to wait and see who gets it done in the main event of UFC 294. Like I said, after 284, this was destined to happen.
Man.
A matchup we thought was lost for good will serve as
the fighting business, bro. You're really, I've been watching you since before I made my channel, bro. Like, I really fuck with your videos, bro.
The co-main events, an all-time great welterweight and an all-time scariest move up a division, and the #1 contender spot is on the line.
I think Kamaru Usman coming in at 185 is going to feel like, right, I'm going to be able to grab a hold of you and wrestle for 15 minutes, no bother.
We know Khamzat Chimaev is in his prime, okay, and he ain't slowing down anytime soon. He's getting bigger, he's getting stronger.
50 wins between them, and just 3 losses.
Saw your Instagram, and the first thing you put is, thank you for taking the fight, but do not use this as an excuse as to why you're going to lose.
2 championship and 2 slots in the UFC Hall of Fame, untouchable to their peers, and right on the cusp of the pound-for-pound mountaintop.
High risk, high reward, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is. You're going out underdone, you lose, you never get that lightweight shot against Islam again. Like, you know what I mean? That whole rivalry's over, you know, but what if I go out there and win, like I plan on doing?
That is what we are dealing with here. Who do you got? Now that you have dived deep into the new main and co-main event of UFC 294, give me your most detailed predictions down below. That being said, I gotta bounce. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.
Listen, bro. Y'all wanna know who I got? I know y'all really don't give a fuck. I just wanna, sit here and watch me watch the video and see my reaction. But listen, this is who I got for the card. Alright, so look, make my picks right now. I got Volkanovski. I got motherfucking Khamzat Chimaev. I got Johnny Walker. Yep, it's my picks. All 3 of these motherfuckers right here. I feel like this whole race gonna win. But I feel like if Kamaru Usman beats Khamzat Chimaev, bro, that shit is gonna be mind blowing.